Shavua Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Gittin. We are up to Perek Tet Mishnah Vav. Today's Mishnah should be Le'elu Nishmad Neria ben Svetlana Ranbai V'Eliyahu ben Burchai Israel of Chana bad Miriam Sason ben Raya Yoshua ben Shifra Menuchatam began Eden Amen and Avdi ben Chaim lechaim v'derefua shenemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa betoch Shachulei Israel. The Mishnah discusses a case involving two Gittin written side by side on the same paper. Shnei Gittin shekitavan ze b'tzad ze. A scribe wrote two Gittin next to each other side by side on the same paper. Ushnayim edim ivrim baim mitachat ze letachat ze. And the signatures of two Hebrew-speaking witnesses appear under them in Hebrew, which is written from right to left, and their signatures stretch from underneath this get on the right to underneath that get on the left, giving the impression that they were signing the get on the right. For example, the first signature was Reuven, son of Yaakov, witness. He wrote Reuven, son of, under the get on the right, and Yaakov, witness, under the get on the left. This is diagram 1 in the Art Scroll elucidated note. And the signatures of two Greek-speaking witnesses, these witnesses were Jewish as evident from their names, but their language was Greek, also appear under the two Gittin written in Greek, which goes from left to right, and their signatures stretch from underneath this get on the left to underneath the get on the right, giving the impression that they were signing the get on the left. For example, the third signature was Yosef, son of Shimon, witness. He wrote in Greek, Yosef, son, under the get on the left, and Shimon, witness, under the get on the right. In Greek, son of is a single word as it is in Hebrew. Since this is important for understanding the Mishnah, we're going to explain using just the word son from here on. The law is as follows. Only the get with which the signatures of the first witnesses are read is valid. If the Hebrew signatures appear first under these Gittin, then the get on the right is valid, since that is the only one they signed. And if the Greek signatures appear first, then the get on the left is valid, since that is the one they signed. However, the other get, the one not signed by the first witnesses, is not valid, because we are not sure which get the second witnesses were signing. For example, if the second witness is signed in Greek, they might have been signing the get on the left and written their names in the usual Greek manner from left to right, but it is also possible they were signing the get on the right and wrote their names backward from right to left in order to match the first witness who signed it from right to left in Hebrew. They might have all wanted the signatures to be written in the same direction, so although each individual word is read from left to right, the signature as a whole goes from right to left. This would mean that a signature that in Greek reads Yosef, son of Shimon, would actually be read from right to left and means Shimon, son of Yosef. If this is the case, then even the second set of witnesses were signing the get on the right. The same might be true if the second witness is signed in Hebrew. The Hebrew signers might have reversed their signatures to match the previous witnesses who signed in Greek. This would mean that a signature in Hebrew that says Reuven, son of Yaakov, would actually be read from left to right and mean Yaakov, son of Reuven. If that is true, then one get has 4 witnesses and the other one has 0. Therefore, only the get that is signed by the first witnesses is valid, since it definitely has at least 2 witnesses. If we knew for certain that the second witness is meant to sign the other get, both Gittin would be valid. The fact that they did not write their names immediately under the get does not invalidate the get. The other get cannot be used only because we do not know if the second witness is meant to sign it. We do not suspect that the first witnesses reverse their signatures. We suspect only the second witnesses of wanting to match the signatures of those who signed before them. The Mishnah now discusses a case where we cannot be sure that either get was signed by 2 witnesses. If the 2 Gittin were signed by 4 witnesses, the first one a Hebrew-speaking witness in Hebrew, and the second a Greek-speaking witness in Greek, then by another Hebrew-speaking witness in Hebrew, and then by another Greek-speaking witness in Greek, and all their signatures stretch from underneath one get to underneath the other get, the Hebrew signature starting on the right and ending on the left, and the Greek signature starting on the left ending on the right. This is diagram in note 6. Shneim psulin, both Gittin are invalid, because the only thing we can be sure of is that the first witness signed the get on the right, since his Hebrew signature starts on the right. After that, we cannot be sure which get the other witness is meant to sign. The second witness might have signed the get on the left and written his name in the usual Greek manner, or he might have signed the get on the right and written his name backward in order to match the first witness. The same is true for the third and fourth witnesses. If the second witness actually signed the get on the left in the usual Greek manner, then the third witness who signed in Hebrew might have been signing that get as well, but he reversed his signature in order to match the Greek witness above him. The fourth witness then also signed the get on the left in Greek, Or it's possible the second witness also signed the get on the right but reversed his Greek signature to match the Hebrew one above him, and then the third witness who signed in Hebrew also signed the get on the right, and only the fourth witness who signed in Greek meant to sign the get on the left, or perhaps he too reversed his signature and signed the get on the right. Since we do not know which get the last three witnesses signed, one of the Gittin might not have two witnesses, therefore neither one can be used. The get on the right has at least one witness since the first witness signed it in Hebrew, but he might be the only witness with the other three being signed on the get on the left. Similarly, the get on the left also might have only one witness or none. And that is end of Mishnah Vav. Mishnah Zayin discusses more laws about the signatures on a get. Shier miksat the get uchtavo badaf hashani. If someone left over part of the text of the get and instead of writing the whole get in a single column, he wrote part of it in one column and the rest of it in a second column, v'adim ilmat, and the witnesses signed underneath the second column, kasher, the get is valid. Since the witnesses are signed at the end of the get, it does not matter that it is written in two columns. However, if the parchment under the first column appears to have been cut, it is possible that something else was written under the first column and then cut off. We would then be concerned that these two columns are actually parts of two separate Gittin written side by side on the same page, but the bottom of the first column and the top of the second column were cut off to make them look like one get. In this case, the get would be invalid. The Mishnah now discusses a get that was written in only one column, but was signed somewhere other than the bottom of the page. Chatmu edim berosh hadav. If the witnesses signed the get on the top of the page before the beginning of the get, min hatzar, on the left or right side of the get, or me'achrav beget pashut, or on the back of the get in the case of a get pashut, an ordinary get, as opposed to a get mikushal, which is supposed to be signed on the back, which is not where witnesses are supposed to sign their names on a get, a pashut, an ordinary get. Pasul. In all these cases, the get is invalid because witnesses must sign their names on the bottom of the get. The Mishnah now discusses three cases in which two Gittin are written on the same paper, and the witnesses sign their names in between them. Number one, if he put the beginning of this get next to the beginning of that get, so one get begins in the middle of the page and continues to the bottom, while the other is written upside down, also beginning in the middle of the page but continuing to the top. And the witnesses sign their names in between two Gittin. Both Gittin are invalid because the witnesses are not signed at the end of either get. Like the Mishnah just stated, witnesses must sign at the end of the get, not before the beginning of it. Sofo shel zeh b'tzad sofo shel zeh. Number two, if the end of this get is next to the end of that get, so one get begins at the top of the page and continues to the middle, while the other is written upside down, beginning at the bottom of the page and continuing to the middle. V'adim b'emtza, the witnesses sign their names in between the two Gittin. The get in which the signatures of the witnesses are read in the ordinary manner, not upside down, is valid, but the other one is not. Even though their signatures appear at the bottom of both Gittin, it is clear that the witnesses meant to sign only the get for which their signatures follow in the ordinary manner, and not the one for which their signatures are upside down. 3. If the beginning of this get is next to the end of that get, so one get begins at the top of the page and continues to the middle, while the other begins in the middle of the page and continues to the bottom. And the witnesses sign their names in between the two Gittin. The get in which the signatures of the witnesses can be read at the end of it is valid, since the signatures appear below it, but the other one is invalid, since the signatures appear above it. And that is an Abotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Everybody should have a Shavua Tov. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.